The Lion King brothers battle for survival. The Pride lands in peril. Kion, Trong Sisian and Kion. The sun rose over the Pride lands, casting a golden glow across the savannah. The animals gathered at Pride Rock, their eyes fixed on King Simba and Queen Nala as they addressed the kingdom. The rains had not come for months, and the once lush grasslands were now dry and barren. The herds had migrated, and the rivers had turned to dust. The Pride lands were in crisis. Simba, now a wise and strong ruler, stood tall. "We must endure," he said, his voice steady. "The circle of life will provide, but we must work together to survive." Beside him stood his younger brother Kion, the leader of the Lion Guard, a group of protectors tasked with defending the Pride lands. But not all was well within the Pride. Scar, the treacherous lion who had once ruled with cruelty, was long gone, but his legacy of division lingered. Simba's younger brother, Taka, later known as Scar, had always harbored jealousy and resentment. Though Taka had perished in the flames of his own making, his spirit seemed to haunt the Pride lands. One night, as the lions slept, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. It was Kovu, a young lion raised in the Outsiders, a group of exiled lions who once followed Scar. Kovu had been chosen by Scar's loyalists to infiltrate Simba's pride and reclaim the throne. But Kovu had grown close to Simba's daughter, Kiora, and his loyalties were now torn. The Outsiders returned say tribe like Huasain Kango Bayan. The Outsiders, led by Zira, Kovu's mother, had been biding their time in the barren wastelands beyond the Pride lands. Zira was a fierce and vengeful lioness, determined to avenge Scar's death and restore his legacy. She saw Kovu's growing bond with Kiora as a betrayal and decided to take matters into her own claws. One fateful night, Zira and her followers launched a surprise attack on Pride Rock. The Lion Guard, led by Kion, fought valiantly to protect the Pride, but the Outsiders were relentless. In the chaos, Simba was separated from his family, and Kovu was forced to choose between his loyalty to Zira and his love for Kiora. Kovu stood at a crossroads. "I can't keep living in the shadow of Scar," he whispered to himself. "I must forge my own path." With a heavy heart, he turned against Zira and fought alongside Simba and the Lion Guard. Together, they managed to drive the Outsiders back, but the battle was far from over. The brothers Rift Saern Jigan and Guianem. In the aftermath of their attack, tensions within the Pride reached a boiling point. Simba, still wary of Kovu's past, struggled to trust him fully. Kion, on the other hand, saw Kovu's potential and believed he could be a valuable ally. The rift between Simba and Kion grew wider as they clashed over how to handle the Outsiders. Simba wanted to fortify Pride Rock and prepare for war, while Kion believed in seeking a peaceful resolution. "We can't keep fighting the same battles," Kion argued. "We need to break the cycle of hatred." But Simba's past trauma clouded his judgment. "You don't understand, Kion," he said sternly. "Scar's legacy is a poison that will never go away. We must be vigilant." The brothers' disagreement threatened to tear the Pride apart. Meanwhile, Zira was regrouping, her hatred for Simba burning brighter than ever. She vowed to destroy the Pride and claim the throne for herself. The battle for survival turned Chinsintainen as the drought worsened. The Pride lands became a battleground. The Outsiders launched a series of attacks, targeting the Pride's food and water sources. The Lion Guard fought tirelessly to protect their home, but they were outnumbered and outmatched. In a desperate bid to end the conflict, Kion and Kovu ventured into the wastelands to confront Zira. They hoped to reason with her, but Zira's heart was filled with too much hatred. "You are weak, just like your father," she sneered at Kovu. "You will never be a true king." The confrontation turned into a fierce battle. Kion and Kovu fought side by side, their bond growing stronger with each passing moment. But Zira was a formidable opponent, and she nearly overpowered them. Just as all hope seemed lost, Kiora arrived with reinforcements from the Pride. Together, they managed to defeat Zira and her followers. In her final moments, Zira realized the futility of her quest for vengeance. "The circle of life is stronger than hatred," she whispered before succumbing to her injuries. A new dawn began in MGI with Zira's defeat. The Outsiders were finally free from the shadow of Scar. Kovu, now accepted as a member of the Pride, worked alongside Simba and Kion to rebuild the Pride lands. The rains returned, and the savannah once again teemed with life. Simba and Kion reconciled, their bond stronger than ever. "You were right," Kion, Simba admitted, hatred only breeds more hatred. We must learn from the past, but we cannot let it define us. Kion smiled. The circle of life is about balance, not just survival. We must protect it, not just for ourselves, but for future generations. As the sun set over Pride Rock, the lions gathered to celebrate their hard-won peace. Zira and Kovu stood side by side, their love a symbol of hope and unity. The Pride Lands had endured its greatest trial, and the brothers' battle for survival had forged a new legacy, one of courage, compassion, and the enduring strength of family.